In this video, you are going to learn about setting various UNIX directories for both read and write purposes.
We will add paths for Java as well as for Node.js, and we will go through the default configurations for Zowe components. As a prerequisite, you should know how to download the latest zoe.pax file and how to transfer it to the zOS Unix host. If you don't, watch the corresponding video. Let us start with the runtime directory. Setting the path for runtime directory in the YAML file helps while upgrading Zowe to the next version. We just need to change the path to the new runtime directory. Now let us set up our log, extensions, and workspace directories. The runtime directory needs to be read-only. So let's use different directories for the following three. First, let's begin with the log directory, or the location where Zowe logs will be stored. Next is the extension directory. All the third-party plugins are installed in the extensions directory. Some plugins are also installed with the components, and it will be stored in the extension directory as well. The next directory is the workspace directory, where Zowe and extensions can store persistent configuration data beyond the zoe.yaml file. Extensions may also store data outside of Zowe, but this is the only Zowe managed place for persistent data. Difference between the runtime directory and the workspace directory. The runtime directory is the read-only directory that contains the Zowe code. The workspace directory is a writable directory for persistent configuration data. Each instance of Zowe has a unique workspace directory. However, multiple instances can use the same runtime directory. An instance can also start with one runtime directory and switch to another runtime directory later, such as when upgrading Zowe. Then you will provide values for the prerequisites to run Zowe as discussed in the previous videos. Java. A few components require Java. Let us provide the path where you have installed Java. Node.js. A few components require Node.js. Let us provide the path where you installed Node.js. External domains. You can list your external domains, how you want to access Zowe. External domains should be a list of all the host names you would use in a client, such as a web browser, to access Zowe. This should be the domain name to access Zowe API YAML gateway. Note: YAML is indentation sensitive, and hence, while uncommenting a parameter, you must consider the space that is being removed or added. If it is not indented properly, it is no longer readable by the script. This is the port you use to access Zowe Gateway from your web browser. In many use cases, this should be the same value as zoe.components.gateway.port when the gateway is enabled. If the gateway is not enabled, this would instead be the value of the port of the component of Zowe you are trying to use, such as zoe.components.appserver.port if you are only trying to use the desktop. But in some use cases like containerization, this port could be different. Zowe components and default configurations. Let us go through the default configurations for all Zowe components installed on the Zowe instance. You need to provide details for every component with their component ID, based on your environment. If you are using single instance, then you do not need to make changes to the default IDs. Note, some components are disabled by default, and you should enable it if you are going to use it. Otherwise, you can keep it as it is. More configurations for each component are available in the component manifest file. You can go through the list of components and the details in the zoe.yaml file. Also check each component documentation for more configuration options. Watch our next video on how to configure zoe.yaml.